Good morning. Welcome to our Minnehaha County Commission meeting for June 17th, 2025. I call this meeting to order, and for the record, note that we have a quorum of commissioners. Commissioner Kipley is absent today. Before we get started, silence your cell phone. Good idea to check. And stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Look for a motion to approve our agenda.
So moved.
Second. Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Consent agenda. Is there anyone from the public that'd like to comment on our consent agenda? Our consent agendas are routine bills, personnel action, notices, that type of thing. Everything's available for public record down in the auditor's office if anybody would like to review it. No comments from the public on the consent agenda. Anybody, any commissioner would like to pull any item off the consent agenda or comment on any item? Commissioner Bennigan.
I'd just like to make a note that we've spent last week $5.1 million on the consent agenda, so to speak. And of that, almost 3.8 million of it was returned to the state of South Dakota. So I think people need to realize that we're actually kind of a satellite location for the state government on occasion.
Exactly what we are. All right. Look for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So move.
Second.
Call the roll.
Benega.
Aye.
Heisey.
Aye.
Weinberg.
Aye.
Karski.
Aye. Motion carries. Moving on to our regular business, a public hearing and second reading on an ordinance amendment to Ordinance MC 1991 as amended, providing for the imposition, collection, and enforcement of a wheel tax in Minnehaha County. Good morning, Jacob.
Good morning, Commission. Jacob Mars, County Highway Department. Before you today, we had the second reading of an amendment to a wheel tax ordinance. The proposed wheel tax ordinance would raise the fee for vehicles over 6,000 pounds to $5 a wheel, up to a maximum of $60. Our proposed increase would raise revenue approximately $200,000, $190,000, depending on how many vehicles are registered within the county. And then it would also give us an additional 2 points in our big score for when we apply for grants to replace or repair bridges.
Anything else? All right. We would take public comment. This is a public hearing, so anybody that's in favor of the wheel tax going forward, now is your opportunity. If you are in favor of this wheel tax, please step forward. All right. If you are an opponent to the wheel tax, please address the commission now. And we also ask that you sign in on the for public record required by state statute. So please.
Hi, my name is Julianne Talkington. I live in Sioux Falls. My educational background is economics and engineering. I'm a business person. I'm concerned that the solution to everything is more fees and taxes. Our real inflation has been running 9 to 14% since the late 1990s. Wages have not increased by this much. For example, someone making $50K in 1997 would have to be making $233K now to be at the same level. Very few people have seen this type of escalation, and most young people are starting at wages that are significantly below the relative level of their parents. As a result, we need to do everything possible to cut spending and taxes and fees, whatever it takes. Granted, we need to work on on the fact that we're releasing prisoners into Sioux Falls when we're at full employment. And there are literally, when you're at 1.8% unemployment, there are no jobs. We also need to stop bringing in foreign workers and their families and putting them into poverty. Poverty, because of no jobs and inadequate jobs, leads to crime. The labor shortage could be handled by cutting the economic development, which is creating the labor shortage. These are longer-term issues that we need to start addressing immediately, but for now, there are plenty of cuts that could be made to the budget to avoid this tax. I've been through the budget myself. I am happy to share the cuts that I could see as a business person and an economist. There's a whole list of them. Also, taxes are eventually borne by the taxpayer, even if they are business taxes. They always trickle down to the taxpayer. So for the sake of our kids and our grandkids, we need to cut spending and cut taxes and fees. Please do not approve any more tax increases. Thank you.
Any other opponents to passing this proposed wheel tax? All right. Commissioners, ball is in your court.
Mr. Chair, I'd just like to comment that I'll be voting in favor of this wheel tax proposal for several key reasons. The first one is an equitable contribution. Larger vehicles, which cause greater road wear than standard passenger vehicles, would more equitably contribute to infrastructure maintenance costs. Secondly, revenue adjustment. These rising infrastructure maintenance costs have outpaced our tax revenue, which is in this case the wheel tax unchanged for 30 years, which necessitates an adjustment. And then further, grant competitiveness, which is mentioned before by Jacob. The proposed fee increase for larger vehicles would strengthen Minnehaha County's applications for state and federal bridge repair and replacement grants by boosting our score in competitive funding evaluations. And lastly, I would just like to say I believe this proposal strikes a fine balance between adjusting for future construction needs and also protecting the taxpayer. So, thank you.
Other comments? Commissioner Benega?
Yeah, I would like to make similar comments. I think people need to understand that the highway department is totally different from the general fund. It's two different budgets. The budgets that you're concerned about are generally part of the general fund. The highway tax needs to cover the cost of construction vehicles, heavy equipment that are frankly part of the road improvements that we so desperately always need to keep up with. So I also will be supporting that.
Commissioner Bleinberg?
I don't have much to add beyond what my colleagues have already stated, except to say that I think we can be grateful in Minnehaha County for the long period of time that we have been able to stay at the $4 per wheel and still maintain an excellent road quality for our residents. There are counties in our state who are tearing up paved roads, going back to gravel because of a lack of funding. So I think it's a blessing that we've been able to be here this long, and I'm not opposed to increasing fees, but this is truly a user tax where those who utilize the roads the most and put the most wear and tear will be contributing to help cover those increasing costs. So I would also be in favor. I'll make a motion. Oh, no motion today.
I guess I have just a comment. Like Commissioner Benega said, property taxes do not fund the maintenance of county roads. It's the wheel tax. And correct me if I'm wrong, Jacob, I know there was a factor of like 80 that heavy vehicles, the amount of damage or wear and tear they cause to the roads is like 80 times greater than that of a private passenger vehicle. Is that the right?
It's very, very significant. Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, a higher wheel tax for heavier vehicles, makes sense because it's a usage fee, basically. I think what really needs to be recognized is that we are looking forward as we do this, because we know what's going to happen in 2027 and 2028 by the time we get this money into our account, so that we can pay for the increased costs that we know are coming down the road. More importantly is the bridge improvement grant that the state funds. We're probably going to see a return of 5 or 6 to 1 just on the ability to gain more grants by gaining a higher score when they look at the needs of Minnehaha County. So it just puts us at a higher level. This is only going to be effective January 1st, so it's, in my mind, equitable throughout the course of the year. So I definitely am in favor of this. And I want to emphasize that the person that owns a four-wheeled private passenger vehicle won't see any increase. It's staying at $4 per wheel, correct, the way we have it written?
The way we have it written, maybe a 3/4 ton pickup or a 1 ton pickup would see an increase, but
Yeah.
passenger vehicles.
But a private passenger vehicle won't see any increase. So that's, in my mind, most of the people that are driving their grocery getter or whatever around, they're not going to see an increase on the wheel tax. It's mainly designed for those vehicles that are causing a greater amount of wear and tear to our roads. So, Commissioner Bleinberg, did you have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second. Further comments? Call the roll.
Bleinberg,
Aye.
Benega,
Aye.
Heisey,
Aye.
Karski.
Aye. Motion carries. Moving on, consider a motion to authorize the chair to sign a joint powers agreement between Minnehaha County and the city of Sioux Falls for MC 2504 microsurfacing and MC 2505 mill and overlay. We're spending some of those wheel tax dollars.
Some wheel tax dollars to maintain our roads. Jacob Mars, Highway Department. This is a joint powers agreement with the city of Sioux Falls. Minnehaha County has already bid these projects, and we're going to be under construction shortly. We work jointly with the city of Sioux Falls when we're in their area and their roads need work. It's easier just for us to go do the work and build them back instead of them bidding out a separate project. So we're doing our best to try to work together on these projects.
All right. Public comment on this agenda item. All right. Comments, Commission?
I would make a motion to approve.
Motion and a second. Call the roll.
Benega,
Aye.
Heisey,
Aye.
Bleinberg,
Aye.
Karski.
Aye. Motion carries. Consider a motion to approve tariff impact fee price changes on 2 previously approved Freightliner trucks and authorize the chair to sign the updated bill of sale. Jacob.
Jacob Mars, Highway Department again. In September, the commission approved purchasing 2 Freightliner trucks, which we use as chassis for plow truck builds. Since then, there have been a couple of tariffs that have affected prices internationally. And the Minnesota purchasing contract, which we have signed contracts with to buy these trucks through, allow for some increases, and this is one permissible under that contract.
All right. Public comment on this agenda item. I was curious, Jacob, so I'm glad you addressed it, how we can have a contract and they can come back and raise it. So that is permitted in the contract that we have. So
It is, yeah.
I mean, it's not it's what, 1% increase roughly?
Yeah, it's a very, very small increase, but
Yeah.
it is allowed. Yep.
Okay. Commission, comments, questions, action?
I would make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Consider a motion to authorize the chair to sign amendment number 4 to the Summit Food Services Partnership Agreement for the jail service. Warden Mattson. Good morning, Jeff. Mike.
Good morning, Mike
Another bald
Mattson,
guy.
jail warden. Yes, I am here seeking a motion to authorize the chair to sign a proposed amendment with food service contract with Summit Food Service. The amendment reflects the 3.7% CPI increase for the meals served in the jail. With this increase, the regular meal cost will increase from $2.48.6 to $2.57.8. The amendment also extends the term of the agreement beginning July 1st, 2025 for an additional year, and this is the third of the four renewal extensions.
Cost of a meal is going to $2.57 in the jail, is what you're saying.
Yes.
All right. Public comment on this agenda item. Commission.
Mr. Chair, good morning, Mike.
Morning.
Just wondering, are these CPI increases typical every year? Can we expect to see similar increases down the road?
Yeah, this is kind of routine business for a food service contract. It specifies in our contract that the prices could be increased on an annual basis based off of CPI.
Excellent. And then the follow-up, just out of sheer curiosity, how many meals are inmates given a day, and do they have access to meals? And I did see on the document that there's kosher and special meals
Yep.
included on that.
Yes, sir. We have a variety of things that we are obligated to offer. The mainline meal is the price that I quoted. We do have a kosher or halal option. It's the same. We have special diets for people that need a heart-healthy diet, low-sodium diet, those sorts of things for medical reasons. There's you see the sack lunches on here. That's typically somebody that's on some sort of restriction or where they can't have the hard plastic tray. They would get those, and then snacks for our things for pregnant inmates or diabetic inmates. Rough idea, this is rough math, but on average, we spend about $34,000 a week in meals, and that will increase to about $35,200 if my math is right.
Thank you. With that, I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Consider a motion to approve a resolution to appoint Alicia Luther as Register of Deeds effective July 7th, 2025. Good morning, Carrie.
Morning. Carrie Deaver from Human Resources. It's my pleasure to be in front of you today asking for approval of a resolution to appoint Alicia Luther as Register of Deeds. You'll recall that earlier this year, our current Register of Deeds, Amanda Halsey, announced her resignation and intent to leave office to pursue a law degree. The commission conducted a recruitment process to fill the unexpired term, and Alicia Luther was the successful candidate. We have Alicia here today in case you have any questions for her.
Before we do that, we'll public comment. Any public comment on this agenda item? Welcome, Alicia. We'd like to hear a little bit from you. We're excited to welcome you to the Register of Deeds office, and we know from the interview your operational experience and public service history will be a great benefit to the county, so welcome to you.
Well, thank you. I'm really excited to get started, excited to serve our Minnehaha County community and get to work with fellow people from Minnehaha County and then also, with the state and local agencies as well. So can't wait to get started.
All right. Commission, questions, comments?
Mr. Chair. Good morning, Alicia. I'm glad to see you here this morning. As he has wanted to say, as the liaison to the Register of Deeds office, I wanted to personally congratulate you on making it through the selection process. Hope to be here and help out in any capacity I can as you make the transition. I know you're moving into a department with well-experienced staff, and I think you'll do a great job. So.
Your appointment has all the weight of being an elected official, so congratulations on that. So, and best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Carrie, I know, how many applicants did we have for the position?
Oh, you're putting me on the spot. I don't recall off the top of my head how many, but we were fortunate to receive a good response and several well-qualified candidates, and we're glad to have Alicia joining us. here later this year.
A good number of interviews, and I think we have a great selection, so I'm looking for a motion.
Make a motion to approve.
Second?
Motion and a second, call the roll.
Heisey,
Aye.
Blindberg,
Aye.
Benega,
Aye.
Karski.
Aye, motion carries. Congratulations. Now, we have a motion to hire Alicia Luther as the incoming Register of Deeds effective June 18th, 2025. Alicia's appointment will begin on July 7th as Register of Deeds. She's going to be employed by the county for a few weeks prior to that, and that's the purpose of this. And I'm sorry if I stole your fire there, Carrie.
Exactly it. Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments?
No other comments. Thanks.
Okay.
I'll again make a motion to hire Alicia Luther to the Registry of Deeds office, effective 6/18/2025.
Second.
And I appreciate you jumping right on that, Commissioner Heisey. Any public comment on the hiring of Alicia? All right, we have a motion and a second. Call the roll.
Heisey,
Aye.
Benega,
Aye.
Blindberg,
Aye.
Karski.
Aye, motion carries, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
Consider a motion to appoint Minnehaha County Board member to the Siouxland Libraries Board of Trustees. Good morning, Meredith.
Good morning, Commissioners. Meredith Jericho, Minnehaha County Commission Office. I'm before you today to ask that you consider a motion to appoint one of 4 applicants to the Siouxland Libraries Board of Trustees for the Minnehaha County seats. So the library board is composed of the library director, a Minnehaha County Commissioner, which is Commissioner Blindberg, and 5 voting members. Of the voting members, 4 seats are for the City of Sioux Falls residents, and the remaining seat is for a resident of Minnehaha County. Our current representative on the board is Ann Land, and her second and final term expires at the end of this month. In April, we added the current opening to our website with a deadline of May 21st. We received 4 applications from Minnehaha residents: Jean Bender, Jessica Lamb, Laura Olson, and Stephanie Woolman. So before you today are the 4 applications, and I would ask that you consider a motion to appoint one of the 4 applicants to the board, which would be effective July 1st, 2025, for a 3-year term through 2028. I'm available to answer any questions you have. I know that we have one of the applicants here. So I know that there were some other, all 4 of the applicants were invited, but there were some work conflicts, so.
Thank you, Meredith. Now would be a good time if Jean Bender would like to address the commission or any other public comment.
Good morning, Commissioners. I just wanted to thank you for this opportunity to be here and to apply for this position. As you know, I had an opportunity and privilege to serve on the County Commission for about 10 years. My very first year, I was liaison to the libraries. Libraries have always held a sweet spot for me. It's lots of fond memories as a kid and as bringing my kids, and now I've got 2 grandchildren here in Minnehaha County that I look forward to taking, and my daughter's utilizing those services pretty amazingly. You know, it's a lot of change over those period of time. But I have wanted to stay involved in some capacity, have a real love for Minnehaha County, and this was an opportunity where I thought I could really match a passion with an opportunity to serve. I had an opportunity to review budgets over the years. I'm also real motivated by the new director of Siouxland Libraries and an opportunity to work with her and help get her roll off to a good start. She's got great experience, and I think I could really learn a lot from her. So I appreciate the opportunity to be considered. Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional public comment? All right, commissioners, turn it to you to make a recommendation or to nominate someone to fill the position to the library board.
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Blindberg?
I would just like to start off by commenting on how much time and energy our former county-appointed board member has put in. Ann Land did a great job, served her 2 terms, and she will be missed. And it was wonderful to have an excellent pool of candidates with a wide variety of backgrounds and skills. So when we look at the applications, we not only consider each application on its own, but also holistically as a group, making sure that we have a good representation of the community across the board members that are appointed between the county and the city. So that was wonderful. And I'd like to open it up to discussion and see other people's opinions also, but I know I would love to start off by making a recommendation. Former Commissioner Bender has utilized the library, has been, as she already stated, familiar with budgets, and I think would be an excellent addition to the Library Board of Trustees.
I'll second that nomination.
All right, additional comments?
Mr. Chair?
Yes, sir.
I'd just like to make a general comment. I know it's a bit trite to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. Education and libraries are the cornerstone of civilization and a thriving culture. This board plays a critical and vital role in supporting quality education and ensuring age-appropriate content in our public libraries. As Article 8, Section 1 of the South Dakota Constitution states, the stability of a Republican form of government depends on the morality and intelligence of the people, values we must nurture in our children and the future of our society. As many of you are aware, there's been a host of controversies over the last number of years that have highlighted concerns about certain materials available to children in public libraries. Some books contain themes and behaviors that many find inappropriate, even shocking for young readers. This year, the legislature passed a law tasking this board with reviewing complaints about such content. I just urge that whoever's appointed today take this responsibility seriously, listen to parents, the heart of our community, and ensure that children only encounter age-appropriate materials in our taxpayer-funded libraries. I did want to note for the record that Stephanie Woolman, one of the applicants, a businesswoman and a mother in the community, did make it clear to me that she's willing to bear this responsibility and take this matter seriously. I'm not aware of all the other applicants' perspective, but I will say that I'm inclined to support someone who is aware and educated of this issue. Thank you.
Commissioner? I would say Jean Bender has my support. Her time and commitment on the school board of Brandon, the Minnehaha County Commission, and various other boards, more than qualified, and I'm happy to support her request to be appointed to this board. We have a motion and a second. Do we call the roll on this one?
Mr. Chair, I'd also like to comment. I will also be voting for Commissioner Bender. I think she's had a very impressive track record and got more than enough experience under her belt to fulfill this position.
All right, so we have a motion and a second as a nomination for Jean Bender to the Library Board. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right. Now we have non-action. We have, what are we moving to? Public comment. Anybody here from the public that would like to comment on any non-agenda item? All right, moving on to commission liaison reports. Commissioner Bleinberg?
Thank you. Just wanted to give an update in the juvenile justice world. We've been busy. We just wrapped up interviews for the statewide JDAI system assessment. So looking forward to getting that report with identifying the things we're doing well and where we can continue to improve. And the statewide juvenile justice meeting, there were members from all over the state. We meet annually. We met in Aberdeen last week, had great discussion along those same lines, and a big thank you to the Aberdeen Kinship Center for hosting us and for providing an excellent lunch prior to that meeting.
All right, moving on to non-action commission discussion. Moving on then, we have executive session for the purposes of South Dakota Codified Law 125-2, 134, and 6. So I need a motion to enter into executive session.
So moved.
Second?
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We'll meet next door. Thank you, everybody.